Hi, Urban EDC here, doing a review on the HK14440 Ally. This is a Benchmade knife, even though there is an HK logo. Benchmade does that sometimes. They work with different companies, like the NRA, and I believe right now they're doing a collaboration with Harley Davidson. They make motorcycles. And Benchmade does that from time to time, and they make knives with other people's logos on them, but it's still Benchmade quality, and that's awesome. So this is the HK Ally. I'm going to be doing a quick review over the knife, and then I will be talking about how it fulfills its role as an urban EDC carry knife. So let's start with the materials of the knife. The entire knife is made out of a 420J stainless steel. So obviously it's a lot slicker than, a G10 or an FRN handle would be, or any other type of plastic material, because it is metal. It is sleek. However, you'll notice that there is jimping all around the knife, and that allows for a decent grip. So that's not much of an issue. Looking at the handle here, you'll notice that there's holes drilled out, 3 holes here, a hole up here, and 2 holes over here in the clip. And that allows the weight of the knife to be much less than what it would normally be. And this knife comes in at 2.92 ounces, which is relatively light. For urban EDC purposes, I think that's fantastic. It could be a little bit lighter, but overall it's fine. It's light enough. It's under the 4-ounce limit. The handle itself is 4.1 inches, so as I grasp it in my hand, there's a little bit protruding over here and a little bit protruding on the outside, and it allows me to have a really nice grasp on the knife. I don't run out of room down here at all. Looking at the blade is made out of AUS 8 steel. Like I've said before, AUS 8 is it's an adequate steel. It's basically like an all-rounder. You get okay edge retention, it's easy to sharpen, and the corrosion is fairly resistant. It's okay. You'll notice that the blade is coated in black. That will help with the corrosion. What else? This knife is, as you can see, is a combo edge. It is partially serrated, and you also have a plain edge on this side. This is the only way that you can get this knife. It does not come in plain edge only or serrated only. You must get combo edge. And that's a minus that I'm going to give to this knife. Because this knife, the blade length is only 2.8 inches. So if you take that into consideration, that's half serrations and half plain edge. With 2.8 inches, that leaves you like 1.4 inches here, 1.4 inches here, but realistically that's like an inch, and that's pretty much like an inch. And so that doesn't give you a lot of room to work with for either type of edge. For example, if I'm going to be using my serrations, I only have 1 inch to work with. All of a sudden, if I need my plain edge, same thing. I only have about an inch to work with. So for smaller sized knives, for smaller blade lengths, I would prefer either to have a full plain edge or a full serrated edge, like Spyderco does. So for this knife, yeah, it's not so great. However, for urban EDC purposes, it's decent. It's fine. You're not really going to run into a lot of things that you won't be able to do with this knife in an urban environment. Moving on, you'll notice that there is a large hole right here. It is like a Spyderco hole. However, if you notice, the amount of material right here is really thin, and even thinner up here on the top. If you study some of the Spyderco designs, you'll notice that this part of the knife they made really thick, and it's consistent with the handle length. That makes it stronger, because they moved the hole up here, so this part is actually thicker. That makes for a stronger knife. For urban EDC purposes and the tasks that you're going to be encountering, I don't think that this is going to be an issue. This doesn't bother me at all. As long as you're not abusing your knife, prying with it, doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing, I don't really have an issue with this. Let's talk about the deployment speed. So with the Spyderco hole, it's very fast, just like all Benchmades. Lockup is nice. There's no blade play, up, down, side to side, whatever. It's a Benchmade. Benchmades are awesome. For the thumb hole opening, it's fine. It's fast. I prefer thumb studs, but this doesn't get in the way. It doesn't really bother me at all. Whatever knife you decide to carry, make sure you practice deploying with it. Whether it's a assisted opener, manual like this one is, thumb hole or thumb studs, practice your deployment, because in situations where you need to get that knife out quickly, you don't want to be fumbling around and screwing up. So practice with it. Let's take a look at the handle real quick. As I mentioned before, there's jimping here, there's jimping along here, there's jimping on the clip, on the carabiner lanyard hole part, and also there's jimping right here on the thumb ramp. The jimping on the thumb ramp is okay. It's not great. Along the spine right here, it's purely aesthetic. I don't think it does anything. On the thumb ramp, it's okay. Other jimping right here is it's okay too. So it's kind of all, you know, radiused off. It's all rounded, so it doesn't really hurt your hand when you're gripping the knife. Talking about different types of grips, you can hold it in regular forehand grip, saber grip, you know, in your reverse grips. You can hold it in a whole bunch of ways, and no matter what, you'll always find that you'll have some type of jimping to allow you to get a nice purchase on the knife, so you won't drop it. Also, what I really like about this knife is when you're holding it in this position here, and you're doing your cutting, and you need longer range, if you need to get closer and do finer cuts with your knife, you can always just choke up here, because there's a secondary choil, which is real nice. See the primary one down here? And then if you want to, you can move up, choke up on the knife, get a better purchase on that blade, and you can do really fine, accurate cuts if you need to. So that's a definite plus. Then we come to the very tip of the knife, the very end, and we notice that there's a glass breaker down here. Glass breaker, this is just a little sharpened point. It's made out of steel that comes out. It allows you to break glass because the point is so fine. When you apply pressure onto the surface, that basically allows you to concentrate all of your force onto a very tiny point, which allows you to break glass really easily. So that's a definite bonus. Let's take a look at the clip. The clip right here is mounted in a tip-up fashion. I believe this is the only Benchmade knife that is tip-up carry with a monolock design. Although I'm not sure. The skirmish might also be tip-up. But Benchmade doesn't like to make their liner locks tip up because they feel that it's unsafe because the knife might come open. But for some reason this one is in a tip-up carry, which is awesome. I really like tip-up carry knives. Like I mentioned before, this is a frame lock design. Frame locks are much stronger than liner locks because when you're actually grasping the knife, you're tightening that frame lock, making it almost impossible for the knife to close on your hand. The pocket clip, like I mentioned before, it's right here on the back of the knife. It's really deep. If you imagine this were to be your pocket, this goes all the way up to here. So when you're carrying this in your pocket, you basically see this much knife, which is almost nothing. So for an urban everyday EDC carry knife, this HK Ally is excellent because not only is it light, it's compact enough so that when it sits in your pocket you won't be able to notice it. Take a look at how thin that knife is compared to the Benchmade Vex. The Benchmade Vex, I would say, is almost 2.5 times the thickness of the HK Ally. And because of the deep pocket clip, when you put it in there, that allows for increased concealability, so people will not be able to tell that you're carrying a knife. The only hits that I give it are the combo edge here because it is a smaller knife. But other than that, this knife is great. I would definitely check it out. And the best part, I got this for $25 online. $25. So go check it out. The HK Ally by Benchmade. Thanks for your time.